Okay, still May 8th, 2020. This is what I've done. You roast it at 200 for 30 minutes until it's dry. I don't know. It might take a little longer than 30 minutes. Then you take it out of the oven, you let it cool down, and then you grind it, and then you roast it for 5 more minutes. I think that's how it works. Right? Anyway, you can see what I'm doing here. These ones I'm not going to grind. These ones I'm going to dehydrate and then put them in a jar. And then when I'm cooking a roast or a chicken or something like that, you know, when I put my potatoes and carrots and whatever around my roast, I will throw in a few of those in my pan as if I would garlic or ginger or something like that. These ones, I'm trying something different. I'm going to dehydrate these, and then I'm going to grind them all up, and I'm going to make like a coffee. I'm going to try it. Hold on. Okay, so this is where I'm at. I've done half, right? You can see. Looking pretty good. So what I'm going to do is because this is finer in terms of leaf than kale, I'm just going to add a little bit of water, not very much, just a tad. And I'm going to bring up the heat, stir it around, and just kind of cook it halfway. So this is going to drop. And then once that drops, I'm going to move it into something else, right? Let it drain. And then I'm going to finish this half. I'm going to do the same thing. And then I'm going to get the kale. I'm going to do the kale the same way. I'm going to do the kale the same way, people. And then I'm going to take the 2 vegetables. Dandelion is now a vegetable. I'm going to take the 2 vegetables. And I'm going to get a big bowl. And I'm going to mix them up together. And by that time, everything will be nice and cool. Right? And then I'm going to bag them. And I'm going to freeze them. That's what I'm going to do, people. And then I'm going to make my dandelion salad. Right? Because I said I would. So I'll show you that before I upload this video. And I'll eat it. I'll tell you what I think of it. Right? And probably do it again as I'm weeding out this yard, because this is all organic for me. Doesn't cost me anything, and it might end up being a lifesaver in the wintertime if we stay on this path of destruction, right? Because you have to remember, the only economy that is, there's my hair, the only economy that is flourishing right now is the underground economy. It is booming. Ciera was a representation of how the underground black market of insidious and heinous crimes is flourishing. Okay? Because there was absolutely no reason for the police to do and the coroner to do what they did outside of for nefarious reasons. Both bodies, ShaMay and Ciera, went first to the emergency department, and from the emergency department, their bodies were moved for the purpose of to take something out of it. As taxpayers paid for that. Okay? That's what taxpayers did. And Canada, British Columbia, Canada, has a history of exploiting poor women that are disenfranchised from mainstream society. That is a direct result of that manufactured poverty that I talk about from time to time. So I'm listening to that White House thing that was going on, and I'm going to put that in my description box so that if you just want to listen to it, you can listen to it. Hold on. Okay, so a whole new meaning of rabbit food. This is actually rabbit food, okay? This is what I didn't want. So I'm going to give that to the rabbit. This is what I want. Okay, so now I'm bringing up the heat, right? And put the lid on. And then we're going to steam it and stir it. We're not going to cook it completely, right? And then I'm going to let it strain, and I'm going to do the kale, which I'm going to go now give the rabbit some food. right? I'm going to give it some pellets. I'm going to give it this. And then I'm going to go out and I'm going to pick my kale. And then I'm going to get my kale ready, chop it all up. After this is cooked, I'm going to do the same thing. Hold on. So, psychological warfare. You know, you see me put out 3 good days. Like I'm having serious panic attacks, people. But yet, it's so peaceful out here. You come out here, it's peaceful. It's so peaceful, but I'm in so much turmoil. You know what I mean? I'm like having serious panic attacks, waiting for the city to drive by. Look how people park their cars in front of my house. If I don't have people parking their cars right in front of my house because they're down there working, I get these big ass trucks. And the city doesn't care about that, right? No. They're just more interested in, I don't know, people, but like it's so peaceful out here right now. I wish I could enjoy it, but I'm not, because I'm having guilt attacks for preserving food. Right? That's what's happening right now. I'm feeling extremely ill. See, now once you get the foliage going in there, it starts to look nice. And when more flowers comes, it looks even nicer. The children's axe. They were out here playing yesterday. Right? Look at that. That even bloomed more. Can you see? Look at that. Oh, I'm so glad I got those when I did, people. These are all recycled flowers from properties that were being torn down and nobody wanted them, and being all bulldozed into the ground and shipped off to the dump. That's what that is. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. And they grow in series, right? It's like very peaceful out here right now. But I'm in so much turmoil. Right? I don't know how much we're going to get planted in there, but I still got a couple, 2-3 weeks. Right? This is what I'm going to do now. That stuff is cooking. So I'm going to come in here and pick up all these leaves and chop them up, cook them up, and mix them up with my dandelions. So as you can see, that's that kale as it's going to flower. So I'll leave a few out for my salad, but the rest I'm going to cook just like I did with the, what is it called? Dandelion. Okay, so that's how much kale I got for whatever. It's just growing out there. This I'm leaving for my salad. Okay. Now, I left the stems in here, people, because these leaves are very young for the most part. Everything tastes, actually, these stems, actually taste pretty good. Maybe I'll put those ones in my salad. But tastes like kale, and because they're young, right? So now I'm just going to heat it up and bring it down like I did with the last one. Hold on. Okay, my nose is running. Do you see the ratio on this? This is the kale, right? This is the dandelion. I fluffed it up. I squeezed out the water with my hands, right? And then I broke them up and I fluffed it up. You can see that. Do you see this beet? I'm going to do something with this beet and a handful of that, okay? That right there, I'm going to make something with, okay? The rest of it, I'm putting together and I'm bagging. Hold on. So I have a little flashlight here. It's not very well. The house is dark. I have fluorescent lights. Anyway, you can see, right? So I took the two and I just mixed them all up together. Broke up some of these leaves. Do you see how nice that is now? Right? So this is a staple, eh? Okay? So now I'm going to bag them up. Hold on. So there's the bag. It says Dandelion and Kale, May 2020. I'm going to make this beet later, and I'm going to use this little bit of kale with dandelion leaves. Between the two of them, you're going to see what I'm going to do. I'm going to try something different. Right? We've got eight of these. Okay? So this is good. Some have a little more. Some have a little less. Yeah, that's 8 there. So for what it's worth, it didn't cost me a penny, people. Like, seriously, outside of these bags, which I've had for a long time. So, Now what I'm going to do, right, is I'm going to show you something else here in a minute. Now the thing about dandelion leaves, it's obvious, you know, anything that gets older gets bitter. So the bigger leaves are a little bitter. I would assume that the younger leaves, not so much. I'm going to have this salad later on, I'll let you know. Just working with what I've just been doing here between the two of them, cooking them and whatnot, they're giving off a histamine. So this is a powerhouse food that makes my nose run, right, in terms of its own natural histamine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 9 meals. What little bit I had there has contributed towards 9 meals. Okay? Do you see how nice that is? And then you can learn to use them as you go along in your cooking, whether you're throwing it in with your fried rice, or maybe unthaw a bag, or take half of it, you know, cut it, and put half into a soup, the other half into something else. Look how nice that is. Just make sure you label it so you'll know what it is, right? Now, I'm going to get something else and I'm going to show you. Hold on. So when you're out and about shopping, look in your freezer section. Do you see what I've got here? These are frozen. Okay, this was the only way that I could get that dollar price per kilogram. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. Okay, so this is 359. Sorry, 659. Divide by 2 is 3.25 a pound, but it's 3.2 pounds. So we're looking at what? Maybe $2.80 a pound. Okay, so $10 a pack. I bought $30 worth. Okay, because I'm looking to get ready for the big storm coming. Okay, we already know that there's price gouging going on. Okay, so anyway, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to vacuum seal them, because they preserve longer and better in a freezer that way. So hold on. Okay, so basically I got 3 packs of 3. You can see that. And then 3 packs of 2s. You can see that. Plus I've got 3 that I'm going to defrost now. I'll show you how I'm going to do that for supper, which I'm going to use those dandelion greens. We're featuring dandelion greens, people. So hold on. Okay, so you see that? These things actually work. I've used them before. I'm getting this ready for dinner. You see what I've done? Oh, I didn't. Oh my God. I didn't write what was on it, but anyway, you can see what it looks like, so whatever. I can always go back and do it later. Do you see? Instant thought. Okay, so everything's off the tray now. This is stronger than coffee. I can tell you that right now. I understand why they would make it comparable to a coffee, because it is a little bitter. Coffee by itself tends to be a little bitter. Okay. Now I've grinded it up. I'm not going to put that into the oven, but I am going to put this back in there for a little bit. And then this one here, wandering eye, sorry. You can see, right? I would not use a whole teaspoon to make myself a cup. Because this is a power pack of bite. Now, mind you, actually, dandelion is surprising. I took a little bite. Let me put this in the oven. I took a little bite, and I took them out of the smaller roots. Whatever. I just put it in my mouth, and it was fairly bitter. And I thought, okay, but I can understand why they would suggest it maybe like a coffee, right? So you'd have to sweeten it to your liking, okay, if you wanted to use it as a supplement for like a substitute for a coffee. only this would be more nutritional, right? Just by doing what I did, which I'll do again, there's a pinch. I'll show you. When it's all blended together, it's really not that bitter. It's not any more bitter than, well, maybe a little bit, but than just coffee straight up by itself. See, I don't drink just black coffee. I like 2 teaspoons of sugar at least and cream. And I can drink 10 cups in a day. So I drink more than a half cup of sugar in a day, every day. So for me, something like this, if I could retrain my brain, you have to retrain your brain to substitute one from the other, right? And then you watch your skin begin to glow. Because you're getting the types of nutrients that your body really needs. And because you're starting out fresh, you know, train your brain to cut back on the sugar. Or maybe in this case, I might try and use honey instead. I don't know. We'll see. The point is it's definitely drinkable. Okay? If you're going to drink coffee or drink like a coffee, you know, like a similar drink, you can drink this. How it mixes into the cup, not everything gets really fine grind, but if it soaks for a while, it will be fine and it won't hurt you. So, I guess I'll try tomorrow morning, not today. I'll make that maybe my first cup, right? I kind of want to get off the bandwagon of sugar. So I may attempt to try that honey that I bought. This one's a combination of the buckwheat and the blackberry, right? I just put the two, whatever was left in those buckets when I did the honey, into this. Or I've been really like what is it called? Drooling. I've been drooling for this one. This one gets my attention. So I might try this one. That's what I'll do. Dandelions with this one. I'll do it first without milk. And if I don't really like it, then I'll put milk in it. And if I don't really like that, then I'll do sugar and milk. Because I don't drink my honey. That's why, people. I eat honey. I don't like to... I'll cook with it, maybe. But I don't like to drink honey. So I just wanted to show you that. So hold on. Okay, so this is all I'm putting into that. Which is just basic iceberg lettuce, 2 shredded carrots, a little bit of green onions, and that little bit of kale from my yard. Okay, and oh, there's a tomato. And then I'm just using this amount because I don't want to, you know, you want to, you can eat that by itself with lemon, little bit of salt, and maybe a bit of vinegar, right? And it's good. But that's not what I want. I want a salad, and I'm going to chop this up. I'm going to mix it all up in there. Okay, so you see how I cut it? Right? Now I'm just going to put it in there and stir everything around. You can see, right? So that's going in the oven next. I'm listening to, you know, YouTube. How many times in a day do you say YouTube? And you know what I'm thinking with all these bars and all these bartenders have lost their jobs. All these waitresses have lost these jobs, right? For the bars that had dancers have lost their jobs, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, the government is pushing people into probably the forbidden prostitution, right? You know, I don't know how people are hooking up. It must be through, what is that called, Backpage, or those types of websites, right? Are they, you know, allowing people to, you know, right? Like, because so many people have lost their jobs. Like, I don't even think a dancer, like a stripper, right? I don't even think a stripper could get unemployment insurance because they're considered self-employed, right?
Well, it's very painful.
You know? And that's just wrong, people. Wrong. And what are people supposed to do? What about the waitresses that were making money, you know, and then they lost their tips, and they needed those tips to buy milk and bread for their children, you know, get gas for the car, whatever it was. They depended on those tips. That's all gone. Like, this is straight up nightmare science fiction. I don't know. People need to revolt. They need to vote some of these guys out, like ASAP. Take them to court personally. Don't file a lawsuit against the governments. File the lawsuit against the individuals, right, that want to be passing the buck on to somebody else in some other country, and then sit up there and say, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you're going to listen to me. Now look at that. Do you even know that there's dandelion leaves in there? Probably not.
Starting with you, Mr. Manley.
Hold on. Okay, so the point of this video was to eat some dandelions. So there they are from yesterday, or I'm sorry, from this afternoon. That's the kale and the dandelion. Or is it all dandelion? Could be all dandelion. So I don't think there's any kale in that. I don't know. Anyway, there's a beet. You can see there's a little bit of beet juice in there. So I'm going to turn this up. And we're going to throw that in there. Right? And then we're just going to boil off that water a little bit. And then I'm going to put some butter. Just bring it up to a boil. It won't take long to get rid of that little bit of water, right? I just want to heat everything up, cook that green. So what I'll do is I'll just put the lid on. Okay. I whipped up some potatoes old school. So those are nice. I'm not going to take off the lid because it's nice and warm in there, right? And then our little loin chops are pretty much done, you can see. So I'll just turn off the oven. Right? And hold on a minute. Oh yeah. There's that dandelion root, you can see. Right? And then this little bit was just, didn't really completely grind out. So, all what I had got me that. So I will try that in the morning and I'll let you know. Hold on. So this is the end of this video. So there's our pork chop, mashed potatoes, butter, and extra milk. Beets with dandelion leaves, which is got a little extra vinegar. Salad, you seen that. Here's that crackling. It's good. Andres, right? And same thing. And oh yes, a little bit of cottage cheese. And then of course Amari's going to get mashed beets, potatoes. He's going to get everything. Only his is mashed. Oh yeah, and some of that.
With her on the vine and turning.
Hey, gosh, Joey,
it's so good.
Hey, listen. As long as we have a mission, guys, we have hope, okay? There's no reason to believe this planet is not the right one, okay? It's in the habitable zone. Edward, all of your long-range scans have been encouraging, haven't they?
If you just kind of blend it in a little bit, we don't even notice it.
A little bit of elaboration.
Yeah, can you give us more here?
Dandelions raw are high in vitamin C. They have K, potassium, all kinds of stuff. And I just basically made a normal salad. You've seen that. And then there was just a little leftover of, oh, what is it called? This. This right here. And boy, oh boy, is it ever good. Hey, Andre?
Yep.
I know, this is like a really good dinner. Right? When I'm working outside, I don't get to eat like this. I eat just whatever. So, tomorrow I have to do laundry and clean. I don't think I'll be getting outside tomorrow. I'm too tired. I need to rest. So after this, Andre brought up a couple of videos. I'm gonna feed him Mari. He's sleeping right now. And then laying down. I don't have a problem with that though, is people I lay down and go watch TV and I just fall asleep. So I don't know. But definitely gonna rest a little bit more tomorrow. Because I was pretty much on my feet all day. And these pork chops, I'm telling you, I'm gonna go back as soon as I get some more money. I'm kind of broke right now, right? Because I've been kind of doing this stuff. This is so good. I cooked them just right. It's such a good dinner.